everybody and welcome once again to Armored Warfare. And today we're going to talk about the Tier 6, the BMP-3 and the M2 Bradley. First off, we start with the BMP-3. The Russian name you see above the right side, you can see it on your screen. I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, but it means infantry fighting vehicle, and I don't want to insult any Russian people who are watching by pronouncing it completely wrong, so that's why I did it like this. Well, what can we tell about the BMP-3? Well, it's quite a versatile vehicle, and if you look closer at the stats, you will be surprised that this vehicle, and I looked it up on the internet, that this vehicle actually was sold as a light tank, and that's because 100mm gun, and it only fires high explosive fragmental ammunition. So mostly it's used to support infantry, and also it is used against infantry. It does an average damage of 329 with the HE. It depends all where you shoot at the vehicle, of course. A penetration of 23mm. And then we come to the 30mm autocannon that fires APDS, or armor piercing discarding sabot, and it has a penetration value of 132mm and does an average damage of 78 per round, and you have 30 rounds in a magazine. 30mm, 27 rounds in the magazine. And of course it fires ATGMs, and that you can also carry around 10 with you, so you are quite a mobile gun platform. What I do find very strange is that you don't have stats of the 30mm gun, and the damage per minute is then of course only based on the 100mm gun of the BMP-3, because that's his main gun. But the 30mm cannon does substantial more damage, so that's a little bit confusing looking at the stats. But anyway, let's continue with the other stats. It has a maximum speed of 72 kilometers per hour, has hit points 1309, but of course that is going up along your use your era and other retrofits. The whole composition is high hardness steel. Again, it doesn't say nothing to me, because that will always be some point of debate if it is really high hardness steel. Maybe it's also made of some other alloy. We will never know, because those data is secret, as simple as that. Camouflage rate is okay. Has a view range of 495 meters. Of course you can always update a little bit with a retrofit. Has a gun depression of his cannon depression is 6%, is not that much, but okay. Elevation has 3%, and that's very few. Accuracy spread 0.10 is okay. Aim time rather high, 2.33, but still, if you are on target, you simply annihilate everything that comes in front of you. Turret traverse around 36.4 degrees per second is okay. Well, there is a lot more data, but I think you want to see it simply in action in game. So let's go look how the BMP does in a PvE match. So let's start on Cerberus with the BMP-3. Excellent map for this vehicle, and I must say I am quite fond of this little death on wheels, because it is a lot of firepower in such a small machine. I will, after the video, dus in the end, I will compare the Bradley and the BMP-3. So don't shut it down, just wait until the end, because then you can simply, I will put the stats together and give you my opinion about it, because it's still my opinion, and maybe you have a completely different one, and that's also fine by me. Simply it has also personal, how do you like playing this vehicle? And I talked yesterday to some of my clan members, and some guys said yes, I like it, and others said no, I don't like it, I like this one better. But you know, it's personal. I simply give you my thoughts up now on the BMP3. And as you see, it's quite if it is on target, you hit, and you hit uh, stay around indeed the 70, even higher, 82. You saw a higher roll, but that's of course about has to do with the penetration value and on what part of the armor you're shooting at. But still, the autocannon is quite feisty. And I also use the gun, and you will see also some nice hit with the main gun, the 100mm HE gun. But you have to be careful, you don't have a lot of armor. You have era on it, but it's really, well, it's not really worth mentioning actually. Terminator just shoots through it like butter, and other AFVs do exactly the same, and that's the danger for this vehicle. You can get a hit from a tank and you will do okay. It's survivable, but more than 2, max 3 hits on this tier is really the most. But you see, if I use the autocannon, the enemies really melt away. The damage, the HP points melt away. And now you see here a good example of a Terminator who's firing upon me, and my health points are melting away. That's how the armor is of the BM3. So you don't have any armor. So play this very, very careful. Maybe in combination with a main battle tank, so that you can simply, well, stay in a protective area around the main battle tank, so that the enemy is focusing on the MBT and you can do your thing. Stingrays and M8s are still a nuisance to all vehicles. They hit you somehow all the time, so that has not changed in the new update. The new update that I put yesterday out, the little video, was by a lot of you received quite well, but there were some people who were quite salty about it. So well, I don't care actually, because it is simply for some of you who simply don't have the time or don't even check the website of Armored Warfare. This is handy information if you are interested in it. Anyway, here is a Weasel, and that's also one of your nemesis, and that's actually a nemesis of a lot of vehicles. So be careful around such vehicles. Also the VBL, it really chews you up and spits you out, and especially because they're so mobile and so fast, so you have to be really on your guard. At Cerberus, that's the best point to go up for you here above. If you have enough support of other vehicles and you have enough battle tanks, main battle tanks in the game, you can do your thing and also be a support to the main battle tanks. And now you see here, using my HE, I'm going to first still use the autocannon, but soon I don't have any shots anymore. So I'm simply switching to the autocannon, to the cannon, and then start firing the HE shells. Not yet, because at one point I like to switch between ammo kinds. I didn't find any rockets, and I simply didn't think of it, because I had, there he goes, 309, you see, but I got immediately a hit back from the Stingray, so I have to really be careful. Pot shot, and immediately, and you see 326, and it all depends where you aim. Don't shoot at the front of a tank, because you will do hardly any damage. Maybe module damage, but that's it. Simply stay at a distance and do your thing. And take your time with the vehicle also, because you have to get used to a certain playstyle. Of course, this vehicle is exceptional, but as you will see, the Bradley has also its nice features. So that will be coming in a minute, but first let's finish this one off. And this was actually my first game in the... No, it's not true. and I'm lying to you guys. No, it's the third game. Because I played one before and that was on, if I remember, well, cannot come to the name of the mission. But you see here, we closed the mission off with success and simply a victory. What is nice, you know, it's PvE. They changed the PvE settings that was in the, well, mentioned at the patch note or hotfix. They made it 10% less difficult. Well, we played last night and we came to a completely different conclusion. It is somehow different than before, even worse in some cases. Well, as you could see, I was top with reputation earned and not much comparing to the challenger, who did also had a very good game. But the stats are for me not so important. It's nice when you see the blue star, then you know you did something right, but it's not the most important thing of the game. It's simply the fun that you have playing these vehicles. Well, coming to the next one, you see it already, that's the Bradley. And the Bradley, yeah, well, this vehicle is simply, what can I say? I love it. I cannot, yeah, the gun is good, his mobility is good, the rockets are good, and I recently, yeah, repurchased it again because I was then time busy with simply buying my tier 9s. So I was selling a lot of vehicles, and now gradually I'm buying back all of them, including this one, this beauty. And well, what can I say? The stats simply doesn't say everything, and it's also by what I just said before, also personal gameplay and what kind of fun you have. Well, most of the people I talk to and who play the Bradley say the same thing. It is simply fun to play with. Now let's look at the stats and see. Well, it does an average damage of 54, has a penetration of 131 millimeters, does a DPM of 7,500 something. Reload time 7 seconds. You can bring it down, of course. Has a rate of fire of 257.5 rounds per minute. And it's simply a good gun. It penetrates. It does what it should do. And I've seen this bad boy in action in real time, and I must say, impressive, really impressive machine. Now let's look further. It has a hull composition of military aluminum that is of course very broad, and again what I said, all the stats, what you see and what you read is of course what the manufacturer wants you to know, and they're not gonna tell you everything because again it is secret. Well, the turret is quite vulnerable. You have to be careful. You have era on it, but it is neglectable. Like the BMP3, you simply are no match for main battle tanks. They simply blow you away within 2 or 3 shots and it's done. Max speed 86.6 km per hour, has a nice speed, a good acceleration rate, camouflage, also good rating of course, has a view range of 530 meters and has a gun depression of 12 degrees, that's quite much, and elevation of 6%, so 6 degrees, so that's accuracy spread very accurate, 0.07, and the aim time 1.81, also very fast. Turret traverse 48.44 degrees per second is also very fast. But of course, gameplay is at hand. Let's gather into battle and now judge for yourself. And we are going to be on the mission quarterback, and well, what can I say? It's actually quite good level to try out the features, the best features of the Bradley. It is also, you have to be careful, but not going too fast and going full retard into it. What you see now here are two light tanks, one main battle tank and one light tank going to this position. This position is only for, in my opinion, tank destroyers or AFVs, and to put fire upon enemy. This TD here is actually, well, quite brave of him, but in the wrong position. It should be other way around. Anyway, you see me putting fire and everything simply hits, and you have this 58, 60 hit points per shot, and you see it melting away if you are on target. But also you're an AFV, so also you need to spot, and you need to well, seek out the enemy and give your team members the opportunity to put fire upon them. So I'm bold and I'm going to spot. Well, here again, and it is gone. And if you do that together in it as a team, you are indestructible and you cannot lose. And I know a lot of you still talk about PvP and PvE. What I now encounter is that most of you guys simply play PvE. And the minority is simply doing PvP. So, well, I also play sometimes PvP. I want to, because I want to learn how to play PvP, and in a good way. So training yourself in PvE is actually quite good, that you can do that, you are able to do that before stepping into a PvP match. And also advice like I did last week when I went with one of the clan members into PvP matches, someone who is experienced in that and knows what to do and who can give you advice. Anyway, you see also the flexibility that the Bradley has, moving, turning and simply outmaneuvering enemy main battle tanks, light tanks, because you are faster. You can put fire upon them. But I was surprised that I didn't use more rockets. And you see here I'm taking a hit. Well, it didn't take so much damage off. So I am simply taking the Stingray out. And Stingray M8s, again, like the BMP3, they always hit. That's something I see there's a flaw in the game. They don't even have to put the turret upon you or the gun towards you, they simply hit you. So be prepared for that. And it may simply make you less salty if they hit, because they simply do. You have to accept that. Okay, trying to be a mountain goat doesn't work in the Bradley, and trying to use my rockets on a Abrams tank frontally is not going to work. So that's something that is you have to be in a position that you can flank an enemy and simply in this way shell him and shoot rockets upon him in the side or in the back. Then your rockets do damage. And you will see that in a moment also in this game. I'm trying to go around. You noticed maybe all that the quarterback map has on this side, on the northeast side, has changed. You cannot hide anymore so well, so you're quite open. So you have to use the glowing of the terrain to hide yourself. And we can let, and I will show you that also, the gun depression of the Bradley do his work. And also keep moving, keep constantly moving. And it's also something that I have learned. Don't stand still and just blast away. Be aware, you're playing PvE against AI. They can hit you just like that. And you see here 460, and the second one was not even needed. And I tried to redirect the rocket, but has no, the missile had no nothing hit. So, moving to that position on the northeast what I was just talking about. Don't try the other side, because there spawn mostly the tanks and MBTs, so you will be very exposed, and again you don't want that. So simply going towards this location, and this was before well protected. You had rocks here you could hide behind, and now they simply took away the rocks. You have simply the glowing of the terrain, and use that to your best ability. Yeah, this point we all know, of course. I have been in several games in quarterback, and somehow people still don't know that you have a limited time to simply cap. And as an AFV or a TD, you can simply not be exposed towards main battle tank, so you have to be from a distance, fire from a distance. So the MBTs have to drive into the cap circle and do that work and take most of the blows, of course. And you see here I'm staying a little bit behind, using the little building in front of me also. And simply I only have to go a little bit back. I can use the glowing of the terrain to my advantage, because I've got a good gun depression. Well, not here, because I get a little bit cocky here, because there are no enemy vehicles. So I slowly move towards the side and see if I can put fire upon the enemy. And again, here you see the side, flanking enemy with this vehicle. You kill them, you take them apart, and that's great. And I at least play once, twice a day with this vehicle, because it's such a fun. Well, we did achieve our main objectives, and we took the refinery. It went quite well good, because the team was playing properly together. Now let's look at the stats again. The nice blue star. Yeah, it's nice, it's there, but again, it was a nice game, and it was over before I knew it. But I wanted to show you the two different kinds of vehicles. Now the stats you see, in this case I did substantial more damage than the rest, except the Stingray did quite some damage also, but it could be much more. Yeah, let's look at the last one. That's a lot of information. For some of you find it interesting. I really don't care so much, as I said before. Now let's go look and compare the both. Now you can hardly compare them together, and what I just realized is that maybe you should compare it maybe to a VBL or another tier 6 AFV, but these two are simply, how to say, found that they should be matched against each other. And as you can see, the stats, you can look at the DPM, the damage. It doesn't say nothing actually, because the stats of the BMP3 only give you the stats of the main gun, it's the 100mm gun. So actually, which of these two vehicles would I choose? Well, love the BMP3, really love it. Also the versatile platform, you can use 3 different kind of armaments. But still, I long to the Bradley in this case. And simply also the experience what I have with the Bradley. Also the maneuverability of the Bradley is, in my opinion, better, much better than a BMP3, and indeed it feels like a light tank. And I don't understand why Armored Warfare put the BMP3 as an AFV, because also the Russians in real life sell it or use it as a light tank, as an infantry supportive role. So actually those two vehicles actually are quite yeah, different from each other in this case. So, but still you can use it as an AV, of course you can, because you have got the autocannon, and I used only and mostly the autocannon. But it's nice that you can switch between different platforms. And yeah, the Bradley has two platforms, the missiles and the autocannon, and the BMP3 has the 100mm cannon, has the autocannon 30mm, and has missiles. So yeah, well, the choice is yours. My choice goes out to the Bradley in this case, and I will be in the next video, well, putting two other vehicles against each other and see which one I will choose or which one I would pick as a favorite. Anyway guys, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you liked this video. Give it a like, it helps me out a lot, and it also motivates me. And well, have fun playing. I hope the update, give me some feedback if you want about the update, what your experience is about the update. I'm gonna bring tomorrow probably a Merkava video that's played after the update, and I must say the Merkava feels now really as a good tank. Guys, again, thank you for watching. Hope you liked it, the setup as I did it now. If you want more like this, let me know. Anyway, hope to talk to you tomorrow again with a nice video. So until that time, talk to you soon.